And you got me. Does it look like there's any nervousness in
Nah,
there?
you don't look nervous at all.
No.
Matter of fact, you're calming me down. I'm calm, man.
Take some of it. Just take some. I want you to picture that you're driving through the park. There's a little bit of a speed bump, okay? That's what happens. You got to go a little slow. But then you get back on the freeway and you start gunning it again, okay?
Right.
This court case is a little bitty speed bump, all right? But you're going to get out of the non-speeding zone and you're going to be back on the freeway in no time.
We got this, all right?
Yeah.
I'm a professional dude, and I got this, and you got this, and you got this. We all got this, dude.
Is he intoxicated?
Yeah, he's probably been drinking, but don't worry about him. By the time we get to the court, he's going to be very, very relaxed. He's going to be sedated.
And this works. What you guys have has worked
His
before.
dad actually owns this courtroom, which is crazy. That's why, even though he's kind of a burnout, he's doing us a favor by being here with us. The judge is going to see him, and he's going to say, it's almost like a subtle nod.
8 years!
What? 8 years?
Dude, he's like 23. He's not 8, you stupid judge, dude. Stupid.
Court adjourned.
Your Honor, this is my first case, okay? If you do this to me, I'm going to be moving back in with my mother, okay? And I haven't had sex in 4 years, and when I got this case, Your Honor, I had sex for the first time. It was a prostitute, but I still had the confidence to initiate a conversation with her.
Fellas!
He can be a good representative for Black Americans everywhere. I've seen the Godoji Berry Farm, and it is something to die for. Your Honor, we can take you on a free ride there.
This is a party foul, dude.
All you have to do is
This judge is a big party foul. Do you even go to parties? Like,
Get him out my courtroom, court adjourned. 8 years. Out my face.
You're a fucking...
I'm not 8 years old either, dude.
I'm gonna fucking kill you, okay? I'm gonna fucking slit your throat, and I'm gonna cut out your insides, and I'm gonna stick them inside of a piñata, and I'm gonna hit it with a baseball bat over and over and over, okay?
Only thing I'm dying over are these new memes about freaking boomers, dude.
Let me tell you a story about my client, okay? There was a man named Samuel Beckett. He was in a wheelchair. He was paralyzed from the neck down from birth, okay? This guy, every single day, his mother would have to give him a sponge bath. He was in his 30s. It was the saddest thing you would have ever seen. They would bathe him. He smelled bad. He couldn't even talk. His tongue actually hung out of the side of his mouth like a golden retriever on 100-degree weather. It was the saddest thing you could have ever seen. It was almost like he was completely hopeless. My client right here, at the Godoji farm, he wheeled him in his bathtub. He installed wheels on the bottom of the bathtub, and he lifted it up like a wheelbarrow while his tongue was hanging out of the side of the porcelain. And he took him to the Godoji farm, and he gave him a Godoji berry, and it cured him. This was us playing offense, trying to score a touchdown, okay? Now we're just on defense, okay? This doesn't mean you're gonna get 8 years in jail, okay? I need you to trust me.
Count time. You guys know the drill? 1, 2. Big Joker. Nothing's funny this morning, huh? 3. Who had a burrito? Burritos was Tuesday. 4, 5, 6, 7.
Fuck is you laughing at?
Where's number 8? Huh? Come on. Where is number 8? 8. You couldn't hold it?
What's up, y'all? Welcome to Hotep-ish, intelligent-ish talk, intelligent shit talk. where we bring the profound and the profane, the intelligence and the ignorance. You dig what I'm saying? I'm finally on camera for my YouTube audience, and for the caffeine audience, welcome. We are here. We got a lot to talk about today, though, man, because it's been a lot going on. We're going to get to talking about Fat Joe hosting the BET Awards. We're going to get to that as our second topic. But our first topic for today, again, like I said, welcome. Follow me on all my tags, at Dewan B on Instagram and Twitter, IncenseandAshtrays.com for your Black American family music tree, Hotepish.com for the merch and everything else and all that good stuff. And we about to get it started. We're gonna start off talking about the rapper PnB Rock was shot and killed in Los Angeles, California at Roscoe's. He wasn't at West Side Roscoe's. He wasn't at Hollywood Roscoe's. He wasn't even at Inglewood Roscoe's. He was at Roscoe's. The original Roscoe's on Manchester and Maine. You know, they say 100 block of Manchester. For those of you who don't know L.A., Main Street is the Mason-Dixon line between East and West. And everything from Main Street west is west, 100, 200. Normally it's like 1,200, something like that. I got my hood blocks down. You know what I mean? Western is about I think that's block number 1,500. And then when you get to Crenshaw, it's about 29, 3,000. You know what I mean? That's LA. You know what I mean? But that's how many blocks you are away from Western. I mean, from Main Street. Why am I bringing that up? Because when we say South Central LA, he was in South and Central LA. Goddamn it! You don't get more central than Main Street. That's the Mason-Dixon line between East and West. And not to make light of it, but you know, he was unfortunately rest in peace. You know what I mean? Because nobody life should be taken because of some material items. But I want to get into this a little more because I may not take the approach y'all used to people taking. The thing I want to point out the most is since this brother's untimely passing yesterday, there's been a lot of talk online about, well, that's why he shouldn't have been in the hood. Why was he in the hood? See, that's why you can't spend money in the hood with black folks. I ain't never going back to the hood. Look at what happened. Let me tell y'all something. I'm on that side of town all the time. Matter of fact, I was on that side of town this morning. The whole city of LA is the hood, y'all. It ain't not one area that is more likely or less likely of you meeting your untimely demise if you get caught flossing in this city. And so this is a message I want to give to people. You know, when something like this happens, we can tend to repeat a whole bunch of narratives that are unfruitful, that don't go anywhere, that don't help anybody out. And since this brother's untimely demise, it's been a whole lot of talk and criticisms of the neighborhood. And my thing is, nobody talks about the neighborhood unless something like this happened. Nobody care about fixing the neighborhood. Nobody care about bringing programs to the neighborhood. Nobody to care about investing in the neighborhood. Those are the real underlying issues of what goes on in the neighborhood. If you want to stop this nonsense from happening in the neighborhood, bring some investment. You know what I mean? I go back to, there was an 18-month period between 1967 and 1968. In that same area, there was one murder for 18 months. After the Watts riots and before the war on drugs. During that time, you saw peace over there. Why? Because you can go to USC or UCLA basically for free. They had jobs. They had apprenticeship programs. People had hope. So people from the neighborhood didn't murder each other. They didn't start murdering each other until Nixon's war on drugs was declared in 1971, which is something that his own people said they would have called that a war on black people if they could have gotten away with it, but they knew they couldn't. So they had to say war on drugs. They started pumping in drugs to that neighborhood. That's the same neighborhood. If you go further down Manchester, make a left on Manchester turns into Firestone. You may recognize that name, Firestone. Firestone Tires. Well, the biggest Firestone plant in the world at the time was back there on fire, about 2 miles, 3 miles east of where the shooting happened. When that plant was open, you had bountiful jobs, plentiful jobs. So you didn't see these things happening. Those jobs go away. They get replaced by an underground economy called drugs. And when people don't have drugs to deal, they go after people who they think are food, people who are being flashy, people who are showing something. So when you flashy, when you showing things, one thing especially about this city, this ain't a show me city. You can't be wearing big old chains and all that stuff in the city. But that doesn't just apply to the hood. That's citywide. You dig what I'm saying? If you want to talk about the most dangerous part of LA right now, you got to go to the Fairfax district. Yes, the Fairfax district on Melrose Boulevard, right down the street from the Beverly Center. Yes. Go there on a Sunday and have some shit that they think that they want on your body and see if it don't get taken. Like, what I'm tired of, the bigger point I'm trying to make is this. It's unfortunate what happened to the brother, but don't make it about the hood. This isn't a hood problem. This is a poverty problem, and this is the problem of when you walk around with meat on your chest, the hungry gonna come hunting for you, no matter where you at. The thing that pisses me off the most was, because I'm hearing people say, don't go back to the hood. Don't go back to the hood because of this incident. Y'all wasn't saying that when Pop Smoke got killed in the Hollywood Hills. I don't hear y'all saying that about Rodeo Drive. Last year was a whole ass string of robberies on Rodeo Drive last year. People getting laid out on Beverly Boulevard. People getting followed home from Rodeo Drive. Because when people are hungry, they're going to go after your ass. And so what it is the lesson I think people need to get from this is, no matter where you are in this city, in this country, make sure that you're not in areas where you're not going to be walking around making yourself a target. People target those who stand out and flash out. Make your money, but be secure about the money that you make. Do something with it that's going to do something with it. Because if you do something with your money, that's going to put it on your chest, that's going to put it on your fingers, that's going to put it in your attire. Doing that kind of stuff is going to make you food for the hungry. And I don't care where you are in this city, where you are, see where you are in the country. Like I was looking at it, it's been so many rappers that have gotten murdered in LA, unfortunately. But Biggie, when he got killed on Wilshire and Fairfax at the Automotive Museum, right across the street from the LA County Museum of Art. I don't hear people saying, hey, don't go to West LA no more. Don't go to Fairfax District. Ooh, don't go over there. You might get shot if you're in an SUV. Ooh. You niggas be like, man, I'm going right back over there tomorrow, spend some more goddamn money. You brainwash motherfuckers. Shit happens all the goddamn time. People getting robbed and shit happens anywhere. But the minute it happened in the hood, the first people you see is niggas going around saying that's who. And here's the worst part about it. It be you niggas that left the hood back in the 90s. Your ass moved to Palmdale. Nigga, you left. Fuck you talking about? You quit. I was want to talk. Don't even come visit your cousins in the hood. Your ass done moved to Vegas. Well, shit, half of you LA niggas done moved to Atlanta. And y'all be the first one talking about don't go to the hood. Nigga, I'm in the hood every day, all the time. Do I live right there in the middle of the hood? No, not like I used to. But am I still there weekly? Do I still have properties down in the hood that I go pick up rent from? Yes. Do I still got cousins and family members and people that I go visit in the hood? Yes. Do I still got businesses I patronize in the hood? Yes. I was on Imperial and Central 2 nights ago. I didn't feel any more in danger there than I do when I'm on Robertson and Wilshire. This whole, because I recognize something. In this city, if you make bad bonds with people, if you go around showing things that you have that other feels that they don't have, they'll come anywhere for you here. It don't matter where you at. So you want to make sure for you young cats out there, when y'all make y'all bread, because you will, it's a lot of successful young kings out there and young queens. When y'all make y'all bread, make sure y'all make y'all bread to do something with your bread. Because if you put it on your chest, you're now opening yourself up for people who are out there who have other means of doing things. You dig what I'm saying? So you want to make sure that you don't make yourself that way. And you don't take this as an opportunity to shit on your people. Matter of fact, what I'm talking about yesterday, I was at CW Fish this morning. Goddamn, get some. You know where CW here? 67th and Western. And Western is the worst street, one of the worst streets in LA. Goddamn. Western, it ain't no green grass on Western. Let me tell y'all right there right now. You go down Western through the hood. The high school ain't got green grass. They play football on cement. The only green grass on Western is in front of the Snooty Fox Motel. That's it. They ain't got no grass nowhere, green nowhere, but in front of the Come Get It In Motel. Oh yeah, we got some green grass. The only oasis, man. Western and what? King, something like that? Shit. I'm all through the goddamn hood, and the flavor's good. Because if you carry a certain level of respect for you, you don't walk around like you a victim. You have some honor, and you respect those the way you want to be respected. The people in the hood ain't animals. They respect you too. Because let me tell you something about the animals. The animals don't confine themselves to the hood, especially here in LA. The animals are up and down Wilshire. They up and down Fairfax, Melrose, Hollywood Boulevard, Sunset. Looking for niggas that think, oh, I'm on Sunset Boulevard, I'm good. You think so? Don't come around here with that bullshit, trying to make it seem as if it's only the hood where this stuff goes on. No, this is a problem. But with that being said, I want to take some of your calls. What do some of y'all think about what's going on with the situation and, you know, what's going on in the hood? 818-925-0273. That's 818-925-0273. I want to know what y'all think about, you know, this whole situation. And we got some callers already? Hey, y'all calling in already, shit. All right, let's go. Let's see what y'all thinking.
Ballhead.
What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's up, Dewan? It's Ballhead. Can you hear me good?
Hey, what's up, bald head? What's going on, brother?
I can't complain. Hey, but on the real, I just dislike that narrative. Of the rapper being the most dangerous profession in the world, and the rapper is endangered species, and the rapper is just in so much damn danger, right? Because growing up, Mr. Harold, who had the motherfucking corner store that everybody in the hood went to, could bring his ass home and have a great time, not be fearful of his neighbors, not be fearful of the youngest, nothing. Joe, who goddamn wanted to go start a construction company, went and started a construction company, made millions, and still come back to the hood and kick it with everybody he grew up with. Mm-hmm. I don't like that narrative. Mm-hmm. The fact that you motherfuckers let the white boy, the Italian man, and the Jew man tell you that you motherfucking rich and famous and better than the motherfucker that you grew up and ate free lunch with is what got you fucked up. Mm-hmm. That's it. You're not fake. You didn't do anything other than the motherfucker beside you except me, the Jew motherfucker that say he can make some money off of you. Yep. And put you in front of the world.
Yep. Ice Cube said it. Man, pretty soon it ain't gonna be no Ice Cubes, just vanilla ice. You know what I mean? That's it, and I'm glad you brought that up because I want to make that point on that narrative. Thanks for giving us a call.
But I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you, man. I'm gonna expound on your narrative, what you just said. Hold the calls real quick, Sarah. He made a good point right there. There are a lot of people going around saying that, hey, man, being a rapper is the most endangered species, making you a danger. It's just so dangerous being a rapper. Shut the fuck up. You ain't no goddamn A liquor store owner is more dangerous than a rapper. All right. I mean, being a hooker is more dangerous than being a rapper. You dig what I'm saying? Being a drug dealer is way more dangerous than being a rapper, and that's the problem. What's happening is, especially over the last 10 years or so, 20 years, you're getting more and more street cats to come into the rap game. So when you get people who come from in a certain environment, it's not the new job that's killing them. It's the environment in which they come from. When you're dealing with a lot of those 90s or the rappers of the 90s, let's just tell the truth. Them niggas were studio gangsters. It wasn't too many that was out there in the streets doing it. They were the people who were next to the people who were doing it. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, the rappers are the poets of society. They are the scribes. They're the ones who sit down and journal what's going on and give the message back to the streets. That's why when Ice Cube came out with his style of rap, it wasn't called gangster rap. It was called message music. NWA were messengers of the streets. Yeah, Eazy-E was doing some stuff, but the rest of them cats were just messengers. And it's always been a few authentics within what's going on, but usually the authentics are the ones that's standing around the rappers. And the rappers were the ones that were telling the stories of the people that they were around. What we've been seeing, especially through this drill thing, is you got people who are truly in that. And it's the environment in which they come from that's getting them the consequences that they're suffering. That's what's going on usually. The other thing that's going on with the whole situation is, let me tell y'all something. Rap, music, period, not just rap, all music. Music is a prayer. Music is a prayer that you're putting out there to the universe. Followed by, that's why when you go to church, that music that just makes you feel good, because they're playing with major chords, and major chords are going to inspire you. And you're going to have a choir singing, and it's just going to lift your vibration. That's why when you go to a funeral and they play a song with those minor chords and they play funeral music, if you had any kind of attachment to that person, however loose it may have been, when that song comes on, you're going to cry. Because music is an emotion. Music is something that goes into your vibration. Look at the music of the 70s. Ain't No Stopping Us Now. You look at that, Reach Out, I'll Be There. That was a time in Black America to where there was still continuity within Black America. Music of the 60s. We weren't fighting each other as much. We were fighting the system. That's because the music was a prayer about fighting the system. James Brown had a song called Funky President. Go look it up. It says, people, we got to get over before we go under. We just got a new president. He said, there's a line within the song, he's saying that we need to save our money like the mob, build a factory and own the job. And so at that time in Black America, in the late 60s through the 70s, you saw a lot of black businesses going up. You saw a lot of black people doing a lot of positive things with their life. It wasn't until the government stepped in and turned around and changed our music. And then when you get to early hip hop in the 80s, it was Revolution. It was Fight the Power. It was X-Clan, to the East, my brother to the East. And it's no coincidence that during that time you had the LA riots. You had black people around the country stepping up and stepping out and demanding equal justice and demanding that we be part of this thing, because the music was the consciousness. The consciousness is in the music, and the music is a prayer. When you start talking about gangster this, gangster that, whether you gangster or not, and I'm not saying that about this brother's music. I'm not saying that about him at all. I'm more now speaking in general when it comes to rap music. When you get people claiming these titles that they not, it's almost double karma for your ass, because you really ain't that. And then for those who are in it, you still got enemies, homie. Now that you a popular rapper, don't stop them enemies you had from 2 and 3 years ago. They didn't forget. As a matter of fact, the fact that you're making money, or seemingly making money because that's what you saw on the gram, now they have even more motivation and reason to do what they did. So rap ain't the problem. The problem is, are you rapping about, what are you talking about? Where do you come from? Who are you around? What are you with? Because there's rappers walking around every day who ain't been touched and who ain't gonna ever be touched. Ain't nobody looking for Common. Ain't nobody trying to kill Common. That motherfucker said, let's take whole steps to Hotep. Nigga ain't no who coming for him. He from Chicago. Stop blaming it on rap, nigga. Look deeper. I open up the phone. I'm sorry, some of y'all probably trying to call in.
Yeah,
You know, I've been over here ranting and raving. So, my bad. So I want to hear what some more of what y'all got to say before I transition to my next topic. Because, you know, at the end of the day, we got to really watch out. We got to really watch our words. It was something Snoop said on an interview a long time ago that really stuck with me. You can go ahead and answer it. It was something Snoop said. Caller, I'm going to get right to you. I'm going to finish this point. I'm going to get right to you, caller. It was something Snoop said that really stuck out to me. He said when he released Murder Was the Case, what happened a few months later? He ended up getting a charge and fighting for his life on a murder charge that he didn't do, that his bodyguard did out of defense of him. And so Snoop said early on that he realized that, hey, my words can come back to me. So if you notice in Snoop's lyrics, post the murder was the case, he started changing his lyrics up and started talking less about killing and more about other things because he realized how powerful those words are. You can attract what you speak about in music. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
This Lazy Leo calling from the 313. How you doing?
Yes, sir. Where that? 313. What's that?
Detroit
in the house. What's up, man? What's on your mind?
Yeah. Just wanted to make a quick point. I don't know if you heard about a battle rapper about a week ago named Pat Stay. Got stabbed up over in Canada, passed away. They arrested the suspected killer, white dude. Just saying, nobody is saying white on white crime. Every time,
yes,
you know, our folks get into it with each other. It's black on black crime. That's all I want to say.
Yes, sir. Good call, man. Thank you for that.
Yep.
Yeah, it was another that dude. It was that white rapper that was shot.
Yeah, that's when.
Yeah, that white rapper was in Chicago. Wasn't it in Chicago where he got shot?
It was Canada.
Yeah, in Canada. It was another one that got shot in Chicago. But still, they ain't saying nothing about white or white crime.
Not at all.
Call from
Najee.
What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's going on, Dewan B? This Najee from New Jersey.
Najee from New Jersey. What's on your mind, brother?
Yeah, I just wanted to basically say, I agree with what you're saying because every time this happens, that narrative starts to get pushed. It starts to implode. What's wrong with us? What's wrong with black people? This is why we don't go to the hood. Blah blah blah. But just like what you said with hip hop, and what the word that you're putting out into the universe. And this ain't necessarily saying that this particular incident or this particular rapper put anything negative out there. But they're creating a culture and a genre of music now where people want to be envied.
Mm-hmm.
But then you walk amongst people who want to be infamous.
Ooh,
so I don't have money.
Shit, that's poison soup.
I have nothing. But instead of me being papered up and having that gold chain that you have, I'll rather be infamous by taking that gold chain. And by chance, might most likely might even take your life.
That's a good.
But the people that's acting like, the hood is the problem and this is why you need to stay away. These are people who had no solutions for these neighborhoods anyway.
Real
and I'm gonna close
talk.
with this too. And I was looking at a meme. It was a meme that was going around. Jay-Z partner put it out there. He puts a lot of memes on Instagram. And he said it hurts his spirit, and I'm paraphrasing, to work 5 days a week and to have 48 hours of freedom, and that hurts his spirit. My rebuttal to that is it hurts my spirit to be in prison. So just get the fuck up and go to work. This whole thing where people don't even want to work and people just want to sit on the couch to that lick come, we got to shake that. I'll close.
Real talk, brother. Thank that dope call. Yes, sir. Yeah, he said some real stuff. We got to shake that, man. That's a whole victim mentality. You know what I mean? And really seeing yourself as less than. That's more so a mindset of inferiority. To feel that you got to be perfect and to feel like just is bad because you come from there, or because that's where people who look like you live. No, the hood is what it is because of a lack of resources. You ever go driving down Hooper at nighttime at 11 p.m. at night? It ain't no fucking lights.
Nope, not at all.
Energetically, when you have a place that dark, it's just certain things that's gonna happen when you have a place that dark. Versus, I was noticing the other day when I drive down Hooper, when I drive down Wilmington, when I drive down Compton Boulevard, Manchester, Florence, Figueroa, Gage. I'm giving you all streets that ain't got a good side. Nigga, ain't a good side to Gage. No. It's dark as fuck on Gage. But when I go down Sepulveda, it's lights and brights everywhere. When I go down Slauson, when I get to the 110 freeway, it ain't no goddamn banks. You got check cash in places and chicken joints and taco stands. You go over on that side, they got banks. What do banks do? Banks invest. Banks, if you want to make something better, you put money into something. You don't give it check cash in places. It's the environment that's fucked up, not the people. Go ahead, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, bitch? This is Larry Joel calling from Missouri City, Texas.
Oh, this for those. Yeah. Are you from Mo City too?
No, I'm from Houston.
You from Houston? Okay, yeah. Well,
I know Mo City.
This dude here looks like a camel's ass. If you ever seen one, goddamn it, with this long ass beard. This motherfucker, this camel jockey. What the fuck do you want, nigga?
Well, number one, I wanted to tell you, it's a great layout, man. Looks great. You look stupid, but everything looks great behind you. That's number one. Number two, the only reason that you feel safe in them neighborhoods is because I ain't out there, nigga, because I'll beat your motherfucking ass everywhere.
Lay, dog, I'll knock your ass out, boy. I'll turn your beard into a shag, bitch.
Nah, bitch. And number three, I respect everything you do, dog. You out here doing good work, but I don't respect you, you bitch ass nigga.
Hey, hang up on him, Sarah. I can't stand that. Yeah, that motherfucker on the phone too. You know, I'd knock his ass out with my right hand, and I'm left-handed. But nah, but like but for real though, like people, and that was Larry Good. Yeah, the same Larry that was on the Craig Facts Live in Austin. That's that same camel jockey looking motherfucker. Well, anyway, that's the thing. Like, I always laugh at this because, you know, when I was born and raised off Slauson and Main Street. You dig what I'm saying? I moved to Crenshaw and Rodeo. At my last job that I had, when I was there for over 10 years working in South Central, my first job was working at King Drew Medical Center in Watts as a student tutor of children in Watts in the 90s. This is way before gentrification. Matter of fact, Watts still ain't gentrified. Nigga, that's my credentials. My last job, I worked Spa 6. If you know anything about mental health in LA, Spa 6 basically means from downtown to Compton, from Compton to the jungles, and the Pueblos and every project in between. God damn it, that's my hood where I work. And I'm there every day. Still got buildings in the area. I've never left. Maybe that's why I don't feel any more afraid over there than I do. I'm not saying I walk around feeling just like ultra like, hey, everything is good. No. I know that when I'm in Culver City, it's just as likely to go down in Culver City as it is in Watts. It's just as likely to go down in Hollywood as it is in Compton. It's just as likely to go down in South Central LA as it is Santa Monica on a motherfucking beach. Matter of fact, I was driving past Murder Lines recently over there, right by the beach. $2 million apartments right upstairs. You can get it anywhere. So why are you going around being afraid of your own people? Which makes me want to transition topics.
I stopped the phone.
Oh, you stopped the call?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take one more. I'll take one more on this topic. Before I transition.
Okay, cool.
I will. We stopped the lines. I will take one more call on this particular topic before we transition on to the next. But yeah, it's just that as people, man, we gotta stop repeating the bullshit, because what happens is we repeat the bullshit, and then the minute someone from another race comes along and mimics and repeats what we say, now we want to cry foul. They always talking about black people, man. The hood got all kind of good things in it. Then the minute some of this happened, I ain't never going back to the hood. Leave the hood out your mouth. How about that? Leave the niggas alone. If you ain't gonna go back and help or do nothing about it, just shut the fuck up. How about that? I'll go and take that call.
All right.
Let's go.
What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's good, man? It's from H.
Brother H, what's on your mind?
Man, this is the part of fragment.
Your phone is kind of breaking up, brother. We getting every other word.
Got the hiccups.
Yeah, he got a little hiccup. Sound like a reggae song. Go ahead, brother.
Hold on, you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you now. Go ahead.
All right. Like I was saying, I think this is just part of their plan, just to fragment us. You feel me? They always try to break us down, because once they break us down into smaller groups, it's easier to control us, man.
Hey, but we got to watch the parts we play into that, man, because in a situation like this, we the ones repeating that narrative, not them. That's us.
No, for sure.
Yes, sir, man. But thanks for giving us a call.
Yes, sir.
And we can hold the calls now, because I want to transition to my other topic for the day. Fat Joe. Can we get the picture of Fat Joe, please?
This one?
No, the other one.
Oh, okay.
Other one. Yeah.
Gotcha.
No, you put that one up there right now. Right now, yeah.
Okay.
Fat Joe is it's been announced that he's going to be the host of the Hip Hop Music Awards. Fat Joe, the person that not one person in the world, probably including his own cousins, have put in their top 75 ever, is hosting the BET Hip Hop Awards. Not Raekwon, not Too Short, not Kendrick. Well, okay, you can say Kendrick's top of the line. Okay, maybe they won't go for, they don't have the budget for Kendrick. Okay. You ain't got the budget for Tone Loc? Tone Loc done did more for hip hop than Fat Joe. I mean, we have hip hop on top of hip hop on top of hip hop, and they choose Fat Joe. And my question is, why? Why are they choosing Fat Joe? Well, Fat Joe has been the person who's been going around the internet, going around every radio station he can find, going on every podcast he can get on, saying hip hop was created 50-50 by Latinos and blacks. He didn't tell you not one Latino architect of anything. He didn't tell you one thing Latinos brought to hip hop that it already exists before they got there. He basically said, we was kicking it at the party, maybe two of us. It may have been 300 niggas at the party and 2 Latinos. And because a Puerto Rican was there with his curly mullet in 1983, dancing, a B-boy dance, a dance that at that time was already 10 years old. B-boying goes back to the early 70s. And black folks had been done. We were done with that shit. So because they resurrected something of the past in the 80s, they are now credited with 50% ownership of hip hop. That's the message Fat Joe has been talking. Can you put the picture up real quick about music? This Fat Tree, yeah, that Fat Joe. He over here talking about something. He hip hop. Does that look like somebody who was raised hip hop? Does that look like somebody who, when there was time for them, when they were at school, they were getting sent to the principal's office? Because let's think about it. Keep that picture up for a little bit, Sarah. I'm gonna break this down. Then I'm gonna get some of your calls. That picture right there. For those of us who were around in the 80s and the 90s, and you black, what was one of the main things we got in trouble for at that time? You look like one of those hip hop gangsters. They always pull your pants up. Why are you wearing that cross colors? Why are you wearing Carl Kanai? If you was black, I was in school when the Kanais was out in the early 90s. And Jabos. Yeah, you know the good old stuff. Coogee. When black people dressed like that, when we were in school, guess what happened? We used to deal with teachers who used to just judge us on the first day of class because we were too hip hop. And I personally dealt with this as a young black man. You go to school and your teacher already doxing you on the first day of school because of how you dress, because of how you look. There was a whole system of shit that we had to deal with that other people didn't have to fuck with when we were building this thing called hip hop. I mean, the whole hip hop police thing, you can take it off. Does that look like somebody that dealt with that on that picture? The hip hop police. Who were the hip hop police targeting? Hip hop was a bad word in the 80s, man. Rap was a bad word in the 80s, man. It wasn't nobody from other cultures suffering the consequences from that. They left the party and then went right back to their racial subgroup because we know America's segregated. Let's not act like it's fake. Like this is some big ass melting pot where everybody gets along. No, the fuck it ain't. Everybody in this country fucking hates everybody. Let's tell the goddamn truth. Y'all just love our music. So y'all come around our music and vibe with us on our music. And then the minute you done fucking with our music, you go back to your segregated neighborhood and you don't suffer the consequences that we had to suffer for this thing called hip hop. I don't remember Latino rappers going to jail and getting charged with bullshit ass crime because they were associated to hip hop. I don't remember none of that going on. And when we go back, can you pull up a picture of my Black American music tree? Yes. Furthermore, when we talk about hip hop didn't start no goddamn party in 1973. Y'all gonna let these crackers give y'all that lie like they lied about everything else? Yes, Kool Herc did a great thing for that day, but the stuff was already in existence before that day that they called the start of hip hop.
You ready?
Yeah. Hip hop is a child of Black American culture. It's our baby. Look at my Black American music tree that I made right there. Ooh, it's beautiful, ain't it? 400 years of music on one tree. I had to create this shit. You know why? Because I got tired of people trying to steal our cultural legacy. I don't have any issues with Latinos. I don't have any issues with Jamaicans. I don't have any issues with Fat Joe. But I do have an issue with people trying to steal our cultural heritage without putting in the work it takes to claim our cultural heritage. You didn't put in the work. You didn't suffer the consequences. Hip hop, when it come down to it, put the tree back up. On that, when you dealing with the elements of hip hop, you're dealing with the elements of funk music. You're dealing with the elements of bebop. You're dealing with the elements of the blues, jazz. Black Americans, when it comes to creating music, I'm not here to crap on anybody else, but hip hop is just a new. We revolutionized the world at least a dozen times the last century with our music. Do you guys know that ragtime was the #1 form of music as we went into the late 1800s, into the early 1900s? Scott Joplin, most popular music in the world was ragtime. Yeah. That's our shit. Before ragtime, we had the Fisk Jubilee singers of the 1860s who would travel the world to represent Black American music. After ragtime, we got jazz. The father of all this shit, Louis Armstrong, with his trumpet play, revolutionized how the trumpet was played and how people sang. You got Fats Waller. Fats Waller brought in comedy to music, and he gave he gave the chords and the style of play that will eventually lead into rock and roll, another form of music that we took over the world with. Do y'all know that during World War II, Hitler couldn't keep his Nazi soldiers in check because they loved jazz so goddamn much. He was worried about losing the war because Nazi soldiers were falling in love with black music. So what did Hitler have to do? He created a band called the Ghetto Boys. I ain't talking about Scarface. I ain't talking about Willie D. I'm talking about a jazz group called the Ghetto Boys, and they would play Dizzy Gillespie. Not Dizzy Gillespie. They would play Duke Ellington and Count Basie cover tunes. Because the music was so good, he didn't want them Germans to know that was some niggas doing that shit, so he had to put a white face on it. We revolutionized the world with jazz. We revolutionized it again with rock and roll. It wouldn't be the Beatles. That's out of the blues. That comes out of Muddy Waters, the greatest guitar player of all time. That comes out of all the black people in America. We've done this over and over and over and over again. We revolutionized the world again with disco. We revolutionized it again with R&B. What's the most popular band in the world? BTS, a K-pop group. What is K-pop? K-pop ain't shit but R&B fried up in a wok. That's our shit. That's our shit.
Not in a wok.
And hip-hop is our shit too, 100%, no help from anyone else. If I create a house, if I design the blueprints, if I finance it with my blood, sweat, and tears, I have uncles that got killed over this thing called hip hop. We got blood in this shit. And we design all of it. We finance the property. We paint the property. We design the property. And then here you come to the party. The house is already built. And you say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and let me go ahead and hang that bathroom door. We going to be like, all right, cool. Hang the bathroom door. Hey, cool. Thank you for your contribution. I thank people for what you contributed after the house was built. But whether or not you hung that bathroom door is going to get hung whether or not Fat Joe was in hip hop. He didn't do anything to create a new wrinkle in this thing. And now you got hip hop, now you got BET going around talking about some music pioneer, and he going to host hip hop awards. You know what that shit's about? That's about cultural erasure. Yes, I said it. Because America hates when they got to give credit to a nigga for anything. We always got to share credit. But the minute somebody gets shot, like we was talking about earlier, oh, now all bad black people, well, you can't go around the hood. Oh, black people this. Another black man got shot. We got to hold all that shit. But when we create it, we got to share it. And they send people out here like Fat Joe talking about something that's 50-50, where you ain't got 50% of the blood, sweat, and tears. Hip-hop wouldn't have jumped off without Sylvia Rhone putting her money up in the late 70s to create Sugar Hill Records. It wouldn't happen without Uptown Records. It wouldn't happen without Def Jam and Death Row. Where the fuck did y'all put up money? So it's not about hating on anybody else. It's not about taking from anyone else. It's like, what did Smokey say on Friday? You didn't put in on this, man. So now the hip hop is a global thing. Now the hip hop is going from being a bad word to a good word. Now all of a sudden you sharing creation? No, you don't. You contributed something, and thank you for your contribution. I'm not going to shit on your contribution. But your contribution, this house was already done whether you contributed or not, nigga. So the boldness for people like him and Busta Rhymes to say hip-hop is Jamaican. No, the fuck it ain't. Oh, we brought in sound system culture. Where'd y'all buy them sound systems? New York. It wasn't no damn sound system coming over on a ferry from Jamaica to the Bronx. You bought them hoes at Circuit City, at Woolworth. You bought them motherfuckers at Sears and Roebuck. And talk about something, oh, we bought sound system culture. What the fuck is sound system culture? I listen to hip hop on my iPhone. Hip hop don't need a goddamn sound system to exist. Shit, sound system's been in America. I ain't got a damn thing to do with the culture of hip hop. Oh, we brought in toasting. Like I just said, Fats Waller brought in comedy to the music in the 1930s. Black American music, pull my tree up again, Sarah. Black American music encompasses a style of art, a style of dress. Bebop was resistance culture of the 50s. It came with its own, because before the bebop culture, they wore those big ass zoot suits. Bebop came in and said, we're gonna wear a thin single breast suit, thin tie. So we look at a lot of those old pictures of Malcolm X and Martin, they were dressing like beboppers. They don't tell you that. That was the bebop jazz style of dress. Because in black music, we always create, to go along with our music, always comes a style of dress, a style of graffiti. It comes with a dance, and it comes with its own slang and lingo and its own way of talking. And that sound can be traced all across the country in slightly different ways. And it also comes with resistance. And it also comes with comedy. Because when you look at my black music family tree, you see we even created the way stand-up comedy is in its art form now. That was also created by us. In the juke joints of the South, Moms Maybe, Pig Meek Markham, Muddy Waters. Because if you go back and listen to my interview on my channel, I go back and I interview some of these greats. I interviewed Mr. Bobby Rush, who's coming up on 90 years old now, who was around in the juke joints in the 1940s and 50s, talking about all the culture that was created. That sounds just like what we have going on right now with hip hop. Because back then, when you were a black entertainer back then, you had to know how to sing, dance, and tell jokes. Think about it, people. Those cats were entertaining sharecroppers. They was entertaining people picking cotton and tobacco 12 hours a day. When Saturday night came and it was time for showtime, you couldn't just sit up there and sing. You had to sing, dance, and crack jokes. That's hip hop. That's black American culture. So with all due respect to other cultures, I respect other cultures, but I don't respect you if you don't respect me. And if you come around here trying to take from our shit, I got something for you rhetorically, because I can go in and talk about how black people created rocksteady and that went into ska, that went into reggae. I can show you Fast Domino. I can show you that. I can show you how. Do you guys know that reggae music would have never even taken off if it weren't for Johnny Nash, a foundational black American? The biggest reggae hit was Sunshine Day in the early 70s. It was Johnny Nash who signed the Wailers to their first record deal. It was a black American that went to Jamaica and said, I respect these people and their culture. I want to get this sound out across the world. So it was Johnny Nash, a black man from America, that had enough respect for Jamaican culture to put their sound out there to the world and not take credit for it. He said, this is their sound. They need to be exposed. That was us hooking y'all up. And to get this, people like Busta Rhymes saying that black Americans ain't got no culture and hip hop come from Jamaica, fuck off. And read a book. Matter of fact, listen to Bob Marley talk. Listen to your forefathers of your music tell you where they got it from. Us. And that ain't us bragging, that's us setting the record straight. We wouldn't even have to go there if these cats wasn't going around infringing on our shit. So have some respect. And BET, y'all doing this fuck shit right here is exactly why y'all ain't got no goddamn credibility. And you losing it day by day. Because y'all trying to put other faces on our shit. And we see the chess move you trying to make, motherfucker. And we gonna stop it. You know how we gonna stop it? We gonna stop it by telling the truth. We ain't gotta boycott. We ain't gotta shoot nobody. We ain't gotta disrespect nobody. We ain't gotta cuss nobody out. All we gotta do is tell the truth. Sarah, you open up the phone line. All we gotta do is tell the truth. Talk about who begat who. Name names, times, and locations. If you want to win a debate, if you want to be taken serious, you got to answer these questions. Who, what, when, where, and why. The same thing your ass should have learned in the 3rd grade on how to build an essay. That shit don't change because you ain't in school no more. That's a life lesson, motherfucker. And it's anything. And the number is 818-925-0273. 818-925-0273. And here's the reason why that must be the burden of proof. Because whenever you're taking in information, you want to make sure the person that you're listening to isn't bullshitting you. The way to avoid being bullshitted is by asking these people, when they say what they have to say, they must be able to answer who did it, what did they do, where did they do it, why did they do it, and how they did it. If they can't answer that, they're bullshitting you. So when I hear Fat Joe say, okay, Latinos are 50% credit, or when I hear Busta Rhymes or Pete Rock say, hey, Jamaicans created hip hop, okay, who? They'll say, what's his name? DJ Kool Herc. Okay, cool. Let's go with DJ Kool Herc. What did Kool Herc bring to hip hop that wasn't in existence before he came? He brought extending the break beat. No, it was already there. Go ahead and answer that. He brought in. He brought.
JB.
I'm gonna go and take this call. That I'm getting to it. Caller, what's up? What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yo, this is JB calling from Atlanta, man. I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
What's your opinion on Bruno Mars?
Bruno Mars he's something that America loves, a non-black person that can do black stuff. And I'm not here to shit on Bruno Mars, but he's not black enough for America and the world to embrace him. He's a non-black person doing a good imitation of what we do. And I think that was a smart move by him, legitimizing himself by attaching himself to Anderson .Paak. People may see that the other way around, but the way I see it was Bruno Mars attaching himself to the real deal. But go ahead.
No, so how far does talent go in these situations?
Talent is suppressed right now.
Even though they're not a part of the culture, how far does talent actually go, even if they was raised in that culture?
Look at what he's doing. He's doing what we did 30 years ago. If you notice, whether you're talking about Amy Winehouse when it comes to our music, or you're talking about when these Eminems, these others that come into our music, they always finally get a good hold of it of what we was doing 20 years ago. Bruno Mars is about 20, 30 years behind. But what's been happening is, if you go back and listen to my program I have a full 2-hour long program of how R&B was taken from us. And I go line by line on how it was defunded. What they started doing in the 80s was, if you go back to the 80s, you still had great singers and performers. As you got into the 90s, you started bringing in more of a hip hop style of R&B. Real Love was one of the first big songs that really codified how R&B was going to move forward by Mary J. Blige. You're going to have a hip hop beat, and you're going to have somebody sing who's not the greatest singer sing on top of a hip hop beat. What that did was it dumbed down R&B. And I'm not blaming Mary. I'm going to be very clear. It's not about Mary. It's not about Bad Boy. It's about they hit on something real big that the rest of the industry saw and started to do more of, which eventually devolved R&B, because R&B is the most expensive form of music to record. R&B, if you go back to when it was done right in the 70s, you're going to have a live orchestra behind it. 95% of the music from the 70s had a live orchestra. Yeah. My father-in-law always talked about when he used to write string arrangements for the Jacksons and Motown, they had to actually write those orchestrations by hand and resolve those chords by hand. You had a live band, and you had singers who can sing and perform, but they had to really be able to sing. They couldn't use auto-tune. And you had a lot of that. It wasn't just Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye, Teddy Pendergrass, Al Green, Smokey Robinson. You can keep going down the list. And you had groups like Earth, Wind & Fire and Parliament Funkadelic. You had a lot of real music being put out, the Ohio Players. So there was competition. So you really had to have talent. When you get to today, R&B was defunded for the advancement of hip hop, and that happened in the early 2000s. When you get to the early 2000s, you start seeing, because there's a lot of hip hop and R&B black-owned labels in the 90s. In the late 90s, those labels all started getting bought up. CBS, Sony, and all these people started buying up all that stuff. And what they did when they got control of our labels that we had in the 90s, they started taking the budgets and putting the budgets out towards bullshit-ass hip-hop. And I ain't saying hip-hop is bullshit. When I say bullshit, I mean the whole bling era. The whole I got more money than you. I'm better than you because I got a better broad than you. The whole I'm better than you because my rims is bigger. The industry started pushing that shit at the behest, at the fault of R&B. So great R&B artists like Eric Roberson, great R&B artists like Layla Hathaway, these people had to take a back seat to hip-hop. And so now so since then, a lot of your R&B acts that are truly, truly, truly talented, most people never heard them. So when you haven't heard good R&B in a while, and now I'm going to give you Bruno Mars, but I'm going to give him a budget to have a live band, because R&B needs a live band. You can't do that shit over a track. We've been trying it for 30 years. It doesn't work. It needs a live band. It needs production. It needs string arrangements. It needs horn arrangements. It needs it needs background singers. And when R&B is done that way, look at Adele. Adele, that bitch she's Jill Scott on crack, and she's bought a $58 million house. The world still love R&B, but R&B has to be done right. So, to answer your question, I know I went all the way around the world, but I like to be thorough because I want to make sure that I'm not shortchanging y'all. I want to make sure I'm not telling y'all to just trust me and believe me. I'm trying to give you enough examples to where you can now use your own logic to make your own conclusion. What I'm saying is this: Bruno Mars, does he have talent? Yes, he does, but he's come up in an era to where when it comes to the black talented R&B acts, you don't hear them. So it's Bruno Mars against who? It's K-pop against who? They done defunded R&B. So when you do get a black R&B act, they're doing things on a shoestring budget, and they can't make the music as lush and melodic as it could be because they don't have the budget of a Bruno Mars who can. So it can come off as maybe he's just more talented. No, he's just the one that got the funding.
All right, last question before you kick me off.
Go ahead.
Where the fuck do you learn all this shit about music at? I've been following your shit for a minute.
Man.
And it seemed like your shit be going back to the slave days and shit. Like, how the fuck, where you get this from?
Well, I've been following music history my whole life. I'm a self-taught drummer. You know what I mean? And I'm just the kind of person, whenever I teach myself something, I don't just learn about anything that I do, not just drums, anything. When I get into something, I like to learn the environment I'm in before I jump all the way into, okay, what's the history of it? Who are the greats of the past? Who are the greats of the present? You know, what makes it great? I'm a documentary fiend. And then on top of that, when I created my Black American Music Tree, people don't know, I spent well over $2,000 in out of print books. So it's not just memory and documentary. I got books for days. I have a whole library at home. And when can you put my tree back up there? Like when it comes to my tree, I know how niggas on the internet is. If I got one thing wrong, they'd be like, no, Dewan, I can't take your tree serious because of this. I didn't want that. So I proactively spent well over $2,000 in books that are out of print and still in print. Some of them still in print and I went into research journals from the college research papers of the 50s that was talking about music from the 1650s. You know what I mean? So it's a triangulation of just always being in music history and also investing my money into it.
Somebody asked for a book list.
Let me give you a few books to read. All right. Thanks for calling. We'll get to the next caller. But somebody asked for a book list. A good book to read is a book called Segregated Sounds. And that talks about how black music was created all different ways through segregation. It was illegal for us to mingle with these other people. So for other people, like when they talk, like you'll hear people that talk about, well, the black people got jazz because of the Creoles was mingling with the French. It was illegal for us to mingle, motherfucker. So create sound. What book did I just say? Segregated Sounds. There's another book called Blue Monday. It's talking about Fats Domino and Fats Domino's influence on reggae and worldwide music. That's off the top of my head. I'll get more because I have them books at home. Those are two. But if you just start with Segregated Sounds, start with that. Next caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
What up, man? What up, Duane? This is Dr. Dandruff.
Dr. Dandruff, what's on your mind, brother?
Yeah, man, what a great topic, because I was raised in a household of, the 60s, that Philly soul, that Motown, you know what I mean? So what I'm trying to say is, they say history repeats itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like, during the years, these love songs will come back to the point where because, they got R&B now that, you know what I'm saying? But it's not like Smokey and the Mad Lads, the Delphonics.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know the names.
Love, you know what I'm saying?
You know the names? Yeah, that's a good question.
I know. I listen to a lot of underground Philly soul,
Hell yeah.
I'm talking about the 5 stair steps.
The 5 stair steps. You talking about the Ebonies and all them Philly soul? Yeah, Gene Carn.
Yeah, the Temprees.
Yeah. This is dedicated to the one Yeah, nigga.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So my question to you is, do you think, down the line, these songs, with so much passion and so much, love will, emerge and come back?
That's a great question. I'm answering that. Yes, they will. You know why? Because in spite of all that's going on in the world, all the violence, all the mean shit, love is everlasting. Love will always be here. And love is a bigger vibration than fear and gangsterism and all that shit. That stuff is made to make you forget what really exists, and love is what really exists. And that love music is timeless. And you see it right now. It was an article that came out like 6 months ago, said the 70s are the most streamed era on Spotify and iTunes. Like people aren't even listening to today. People are going back to the 70s now. Like Spotify is like shit. The biggest thing is 70s music because the 70s talked about love and peace. And it brought in the live string or arrangements. This is one song. Thanks for calling. I'm gonna get to the next caller. Hold it real quick before I make this point. This is one song I was talking about on my show last week to talk about the profoundness of love and writing. Like when you listen to a Smokey Robinson song, and you can't tell me this shit ain't going nowhere. There's a song in particular by Smokey Robinson. It was one of his B-sides. It's called "Fork in the Road." I want y'all to look it up. And it's some of the greatest writing you'll ever hear. He says, it seems like love should be easy to bear, but it's such a heavy load. Then he says, worldwide travelers, meaning people who travel the world, you ain't gone nowhere until you've traveled down love's road. God damn, there's some lyrics. I don't give a fuck. Bars, nigga. Because if you ever been in love and you ever dealt with love, you know that shit could take you all around the motherfucking world. I don't care if you been to Brazil and then travel from Brazil to goddamn India, then from India to Australia, back to LA. You ain't gone shit until you went down the road of love. And lyrics like that will always be here They're always going to be around. It's the reason why they keep going back to the 60s and the 70s in particular when it comes time to sample music, when it comes time to sample lyrics, when it comes time to sample parts of a song, because everything about it. When you listen to that music of the 70s, man, it wasn't just the lyrics that was love. It was those string arrangements. Go back and listen to Barry White's Love Unlimited Orchestra. You just feel like you were engulfed in just soul. And the string arrangements and the bass play and the guitar play, everything mimicked the emotion of the lyrics. That's where R&B is at its best. The music has to be arranged in accordance of the lyrics. When they did I'll Be There by the Jackson 5, I look at my father-in-law, he wrote the arrangement, and Hal Davis, he co-produced that with Hal Davis. And we go back and listen to I'll Be There by the Jackson 5. There's a slow crescendo to the song. Wherever you need me, I'll be there. It's just very gentle. It starts off very gentle. Then it slowly builds. Don't you know? And it keeps building. And then you listen to those string arrangements. If you just cut out Michael Jackson's voice, if you cut out, you just listen to the string arrangements and the harmonies in the back. The harmonies make you feel love. The harmonies and the string arrangements make you feel like I'm going to be there. He didn't have to say a word for those string arrangements, that full orchestral sound backing the music. You feel like that before Michael Jackson says a word. That's real R&B. And that's what the fuck they took from us. And they tried to give us a little track. Doo 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 doo. All right, cool. All right, that was a cool hit, Usher. And I'm not dissing Usher, but that'd have been better if somebody was rapping on it. I'd have much rather have heard Usher have his career have music that mimicked the feeling of his music. They took R&B because we took away the soul of that shit. And what they do is when you get Bruno Mars, when you get K-pop, when you get all these other people to sing our shit, they bring them back to live orchestral arrangements that mimic the lyrics. Mm-hmm. And that's why they hit off. Adele hits off because she has a full production. Even though she sound like she's singing with a bowl of soup in her mouth. That's like, I mean, it's time? Oh yeah, we about time. Oh yeah. Oh man, I had fun with y'all. Damn it. I'm saying like that. Oh shit, it is time.
Yeah, I just
said. Damn, my bad. Thank y'all for listening to the Caffeine Nap Hotep Ish Intelligent Ish Talk. Save your questions for next week. Follow me on YouTube, because on YouTube, man, I'll be breaking this shit down too, man. Fuck with me. All right, so at Dewan B on YouTube, at Dewan B on Twitter and Instagram. And remember this, before I sign off, remember this thing here. There are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those who are willing to pick up the game. You gotta be willing. And you can't be looking at people, you gotta look at the message. Because if you look at people, you're gonna get fucked up every time. My name is Dewan B, we out. Salute to the comedy press. Tune in to my show, Hotep Ish, Intelligent Ish Talk, Intelligent Talk, where we bring the profound and the profane. Comedy press. I'm bringing up that news and information, current events, also some predictions. I'll be using them playing cards. I'm gonna read some cards and I'm gonna read some of you motherfuckers that call in. Download the Caffeine app, subscribe to the Comedy Press, and tune into my show, Hotep-ish, Intelligent-ish Talk, Intelligent Talk, where we bring the profound and the profane. Yes, I like the history. I'm a Hotep, but ish because I still eat pork. This is how you pressure situation. Watch. Hey, Will, Jada, I just want to read your relationship. Y'all, that's why y'all getting a divorce anyway.
That's my people and them. He gon' shoot.